Hello, my friend. Welcome to the Believe You Are a Good Mom podcast. I'm Emily Wardrop from Drop the Word Life Coaching, where we help moms of young kids drop power struggle wars to create more peace in their parenting. Do you want to be a good mom? I will tell you the one simple secret of how to be a good mom. You already are. Don't believe me? You've come to the right place. I'm glad you're here. I've got you. Because when you truly believe you are a good mom, everything will change for you as you live into the truth of who you've always been. Let's get started. Merry Christmas, my friends. Merry Christmas. So, today is the Wednesday before Christmas Day. And did you know that on Wednesdays, I send out an email? Are you on my email list? Do you get an email from me every Wednesday? If you do not, go to droptheword.com/www. Yes, that is. The W's on the end instead of the beginning. You can put them in both places if you want. Stands for Wednesday Wisdom with Emily Wardrop. So World Wide Web on the beginning, Wednesday Wisdom with Emily Wardrop on the end, droptheword.com/www. So this is a Wednesday. I was thinking about what to put in the email today. I'm like, this is the last Wednesday Wisdom before Christmas. Should be a Christmassy message, right? Could be. I try to catch those red flag shoulds. There's no shoulds. What do I want to do? I want to do a Christmas message. And as I was thinking about the message, and I'm like, I'm just going to do a whole podcast about this because you know how I am. I want to keep those emails short and sweet. And so I got to elaborate on the podcast instead. Okay, so Christmas. One of the things that my family's obsessed with at Christmas time is the Polar Express. They always have been ever since my first baby is a boy. My son was and always has been obsessed with trains, right? So he loved trains. So of course he loved the Polar Express. I even love the train on that movie. That's about the main thing that I love on that movie is just watching the beautiful scenery of the train going through the snow. So beautiful. Many, many, many things I don't like about that movie. And so it's kind of the soundtrack to our December around here. And it literally is in the car too. So we have the soundtrack. We listen to it in the car all the time. We got Josh Groban singing about Believe. We've got little bells all over the place because there's even like a train here in Utah that we go on a ride every Christmas, and they can't really call it the Polar Express because that's trademarked, whatever, but we call it that. Anyway, and they always give us or Santa gets on the train and gives us all a bell. So we're always thinking about believing, right? So they ring their bells and they're like, I believe, because that is the plot, spoiler alert, of the Polar Express book / movie that if you can hear the bell, then you believe, right? So it's all about believing. That whole movie is about believing. So Christmas is about believing, right? And guess what? This podcast is all about believing. So believe, what does that even mean? What are we talking about? So at Christmas time, kids talk about believing in Santa, right? And that's what that whole movie is about too. But there's other things that we believe in, right? Or that we believe that are a little more eternally important than Santa Claus. And I believe that he's a type, actually. He's a symbol, right? Of all the good things that we want to believe at Christmas time. Okay, so let's tap in. Here's the first thing. This comes from a different Christmas movie. Disney Plus just kind of resurrected the Santa Claus movies with a new little TV series, The Santa Clauses, and my kids like watching that, so we watch that together. And a theme throughout those movies is believing is seeing. So that's what we're going to talk about today. There's even a track on the Polar Express soundtrack, so I see the words on my display in the van while it's playing the CD that says believing is seeing. No. The other one. Seeing is believing, because that's a thing that people say, right? Seeing is believing. Like if I see it, hey, there's my alarm to remind me to do my email. Working on it and do the podcast first. Okay, so generally people think that if you can see it, you can believe it, right? I'll believe it when I see it. That's something my mom always said too. I believe it when I see it. And I find myself saying that because don't we all say the things that our mom always said? So, like if my husband's like, I promise I'm gonna whatever. If my kid's like, I'll never do that ever again. I'm like, yeah, right. I'll believe it when I see it. Right. It's kind of a doubting phrase, actually. And so seeing is believing is kind of like, I need to be able to see the proof in order to believe. Right. But the Santa Clauses or the Santa Claus movies flip that script, right? And they're like, believing is seeing. And that's what I want to talk about today, because I really believe this is like a new thing that like blew my mind, I don't know, 8 months ago or something. So because what I was studying then is that faith is the evidence. So it says that in the scriptures, right? That faith is the evidence of things hoped for but not seen. And so if we just hope for something that we can't see, like God, right? Like Jesus. We've never seen him probably physically with our physical eyes or whatever, or touched him or experienced him physically in this body, in this world, in this way that we're used to doing with like other human beings. Then it's, some people are like, well, seeing is believing. So I can't believe in Jesus. I've never seen him, right? But faith is that evidence of things hoped for that are not seen. So there's a lot of things we can't see with our mortal eyes and we still believe, right? And so believing is seeing. Faith is the evidence. That's what faith is. And so when we believe something that we can't see, that's the power. Like faith is a power. Okay. Believing is a power. And so, to my thesis, we believe that we are a good mom, even if we don't see it, because what we think we're seeing is our actions, right? What we're doing. People give me kickback. Just last night, I talked to my family about my podcast. They're like, wait, I don't get it. um, because, like everybody wants to give me a hard time about, okay, so you're just telling everybody they're a good mom. Well, what if they're abusing their kids? First of all, like, I don't think that you'd be listening. Like that's not really my audience to be talking to like abusive parents. And if you are, then clearly you know that you need some help. And so like go get a psychiatrist or something to help you out, because you've got some, you know, things going on in your mind that like there is help for that. But usually people that are so far gone in their minds don't even know that they need help. So anyway, off in the weeds on that one. But the point is that my audience are amazing moms who are beating themselves up in their own brains, telling themselves that they're a terrible mom. And that is because that's what they're seeing. Okay. You're seeing the craptastic things that you're doing or whatever you're labeling that way, and making it mean that you're a terrible mom. And that's not true. That is a lie that your brain is feeding you. And we have to, manage our brains and notice the lies and remind ourselves and remember who we are. Okay. So when we believe that we are a good mom, then believing is seeing. So when we believe it, then we live into it. It's kind of magical. And I feel like I'm always trying to convince you of this process. And now I just want to like throw up my hands and say, just try it. Just try believing for 1 minute, because you probably can't make it through the whole day. But for 1 minute, believe you're a good mom and then see how you show up, see what you see, right? So the actions of what you're doing is what you're seeing. So basically, you are good even when you're not. That is my point. Okay. So you are good even when you do things that you wouldn't qualify a good mom as doing, or you're not doing all the things that you think a good mom would do. You are good. It's who you are inherently at your core, your real self, your true self. And then, yes, and we do things that aren't good, but you are good and you are a good mom. Okay. So faith is the evidence. Believing is seeing. So when you believe something, and I'm telling you, even the brain scientists have caught on to this. Like the like in my episodes of Dr. Paul Jenkins, right? Because he's like trained psychologist, whatever he is. And all the neuroscientists, whatever, are all telling you things like once your brain is holding on to this story, then it goes and finds evidence for your story. So you think a thought like, I'm a terrible mom, then your brain, its job, the way it functions, the way it works, like brain scientists have studied the brain. And the way it works is it goes and it finds evidence to prove your story true. Your brain's job is to prove its own thoughts true. So we have to swim upstream here a little bit, because we're going against natural brain wiring. So first of all, have compassion for yourself that your brain is working exactly how it's supposed to. And then remember that seeing is not believing. Believing is seeing, because when you believe something, then you start seeing all the evidence for it. Okay? Believing is seeing, because once you believe something, then you start seeing all the evidence for your story. Okay? So if you change your story from I'm a terrible mom to I am a good mom, it's who I am, then you start seeing the evidence. It's there, but you can't see it because you're believing the lies. Okay? So let's stop believing lies and start believing the truth. It's Christmas. It's time to believe, right? And you can believe whatever you want. This is not about finding absolute truth. This is about believing things that serve you and help you become who you want to be, who you've always been all along. Okay? So when you believe that you are good at who you are, then there's that dissonance when you're doing things that aren't good. And that's great. That proves that you are good, right? Like I always say, guilt is great because that means that there's something out of alignment. And that means that you are good and you did something that wasn't good. So you feel a little jiggy in your brain, right? So believe that you are good, and then you'll start seeing the evidence. Okay. So faith is the evidence of things unseen that you hope for. I hope that this is true, you guys. I just hope it's true that God is real, that he really did make me, that he really is good, that he made us and he said it is good. I hope that's true. Okay. And there's no way of knowing the absolute truth on this earth because that wouldn't require any faith. And so there's something to this, like part of the whole plan of being here is to develop this faith. Okay. So believe. That's what faith is, right? Is believing. It's choosing to think a thought intentionally over and over and over until it just is a thought that you believe. Okay. So at this Christmas time, as you see believe everywhere, as your kids are jingling the bells and saying, I believe, think about, what do you believe? I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm so grateful that we can celebrate his birthday at this time of year. I'm so grateful that we can celebrate his life all the time, because every single second of the day, I need him. I need him to strengthen me to get through the day. If you're a drowning mom in a house full of littles, you know what that feels like. It is just an emotional roller coaster overload. And that is the point of this life, is to figure out these bodies. And these bodies are all about emotions. And so the emotion work we do in coaching, paired with like the enabling power of the atonement of Jesus Christ, like I am just a conduit to help you tap into what that even means for you. It's amazing. So it all starts with believing. I'm telling you, that's why I harp on this podcast, because once we believe, then we can achieve, right? Because I mean, you already have the evidence. Even if you don't try me on this, just look back and see that you're trying something else that's not working. Okay. Because if you're feeling like a terrible mom, then you know that it's not working. Okay. Because you're believing that thought. So start believing something intentionally on purpose. And I propose that you start believing that you are a good mom. Okay. Because you are. And you're wasting time believing the lies. So believe, my friends. Merry Christmas. And I have a Christmas gift for you. If you haven't heard about this yet, I'm very excited to tell you that I'm giving away free RBCs this year. What's an RBC, you wonder? It's a relationship boost call. So you and me get on Zoom, just you and me, just 20 minutes. I know you're a busy mama, all the littles running around. It's okay. I got kids, you got kids. We can hop on a call for 20 minutes and boost one of your relationships. So maybe it is one of the relationships with one of those littles. Like they are just absolutely driving you up the wall. You're like, I love this kid so much when he's asleep. Right? Like, I know you love your kids fiercely, but like, how are you actually feeling towards them? We can change that. Like, you don't have to be stuck in the frustration, irritation, annoyance. Like, you want so much to just hug them and squeeze them, but it's like, I need some space here, kid. And we can explore that. And I've got a really fun process that we do on these calls. All you have to do is come with someone in mind that you want to work on that relationship, and I'll take it from there. And I've used it on myself. It's amazing. I've used it on clients. It's so good. Like, it is secret sauce. So come get your free RBC. dropthewar.com/appointments to sign up for time that works for both of us. And I will see you there. Merry Christmas. So excited to give you this gift. And this gift will just keep on giving all year long. So no rush to fit it in before Christmas this week. But especially if something comes up with, extended family or whatever at Christmas time, let's talk it through. I can help you boost any relationship. So even if you're not a mom of young kids, you have relationships for sure. And so whoever it is, whatever it is, and coach anybody on anything. And let's focus on relationships this year, okay? All right, free RBCs. Come get yours. Anything else? Merry Christmas. And go get on that email list so that you can get my fun Wednesday wisdom with Emily Wardrop every Wednesday straight to your inbox. Which is a quick tip, trick, tool to ingest really quickly. It is not long. That's why I had to start the podcast, because I got to get long-winded somewhere. But we keep it short and sweet in the inbox. All right. Anything else? Radio silence. Okay, hit me up on dropthewar.com or, DMs and Facebook or Instagram. Drop the War all over the place. So let's chat. Tell me what's going on, because this one-sided conversation here is getting kind of old. I got to hear from you. I'm glad that you're listening. Rate, review the podcast, share it with your friends. And I will see you next time. Okay, bye. Hey friend, thanks for listening. If you want to learn more about how you can believe that you are a good mom, head over to dropthewarlifecoach.com/believe, and you get access to my free pre-recorded masterclass that will teach you all about the hands-on, exactly how to believe that you are a good mom. Start believing right now. Feel the peace, my friend. We got this. You got this. See you there.